actually knowing your top values, and I like to keep a list of 5. Like, these are the things in my life that I care the most about. And I know this because they drive my decision making. They're what feels trespassed upon when I feel shitty about something. They're the things that I can look to and be like, oh, that's what feels like it's being honored or tested or trespassed upon, right? Like, just for example, one of my values is, I'm trying to give an example of when it's been trespassed upon. Oh, okay. One of my values is empowerment. Empowerment is something that I care more about than anything else in the world. And there's a lot of whys underneath that. I care about equity. I care about everyone's potential being realized. I think every human being deserves to feel like they can trust themselves and, step into their full power. That's something that I hold very, very sacred to me. And I was recently on a call with someone who I'm leading a training for their team. And I could tell there was some like neuroticism on the other line of getting the training just right and handling all these delicate dynamics within the team, which, as someone who's been facilitating workshops for almost 10 years, I am very attuned to. And I want to be respectful and really hear her out and make sure that I'm doing the best customer service I possibly can. But what started to feel trespassed upon was, you're either trusting me to empower your people or you're not. And so maybe actually that's another one of my values, trust. So maybe it was like kind of dancing on both of those. And that's not to say that it made that difficult feeling go away, or it necessarily made me handle the situation any differently than I did handle it in the moment. But it gave me this kind of light on in the room, this clarity around like, what is the thing that is bothering me? What is the information here? And there's something about, like, even as I'm saying this out loud, like my insides feel more relaxed just by knowing the thing that it is. Because ultimately that's going to matter so much more to you, and it's going to be so much more helpful to you in terms of how you actually communicate in those situations than the shoulds that you're using to compare yourself to other people's behavior. Because ultimately other people's behavior they're not linked to your values and what you actually care about. So let's say, pretend respect is one of your values, even though it's not quite there yet, but let's just workshop it. Then it might show up in your communications. Like, let's say you're in a confrontation at work and someone says something to you that feels really off base, or like personally inappropriate or something like that. You might say something like, Joe, on a professional level, I appreciate the feedback that you gave that to me in the meeting. But on a personal level, something that I really value, whether it's in my professional or personal relationships, is respect. And in that moment, I didn't feel respected. So I'd love to have a conversation with you so that we can just air this out. So moving forward, we feel like there's mutual respect. And then you start to see how these values serve your communication style.